Anuj Pachhel, or should I say Dr. Anuj Pachhel. He is one of the most inspiring and creative people on the internet right now. And in today's podcast, we're going to talk about his thoughts on becoming a doctor. He will also be sharing a few simple but easy and effective productivity hacks and study tips that you can instantly apply. But before we begin, I request you guys to subscribe and like this video because the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests get. Sit back, watch this video at 1.5x and enjoy. So, with me here is a guest that needs no introduction, Anuj Pachhel sir, Dr. Anuj Pachhel sir, and it's an honor to have you here. So, final year results were announced this week, and your video isn't out. So, your inputs on the results and thoughts on finally becoming a doctor.
I've like this took a lot of effort, I would say. And before I say all of that, thank you so much, Tanmay, for having me on this podcast. I've watched a few of your videos. My batchmates have watched a few of your videos. I would like to say your thumbnails are quite good. I sometimes take some inspirations for the color and all of that from your thumbnails. So keep it up. All the best. And nextly, with respect to the results, I would say I was really happy when the results came because I scored like as much as I wanted to. कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ कम नहीं ऐसा नहीं हुआ. So I was very happy with whatever I've done, especially with managing every extracurricular activity that I've been doing since the last year. And काफ़ी मेहनत लग गई यहाँ तक पहुँचने को. But yeah, I'm very grateful that it all happened. And I'm grateful for the people who supported me throughout the journey. काफ़ी पढ़ना पड़ा, but yeah, that's part of the journey.
Yes, but डॉक्टर टैग आने पे क्या फीलिंग थी?
हम्म बहुत अच्छा लगा यार. वो एक मोटिवेशन था मेरा फाइनल ईयर में कि डॉक्टर बन जाएगा, डॉक्टर लगा लेगा अपन नाम के आगे. तो वो बहुत सेटिस्फैक्शन और अकॉम्प्लिशमेंट वाली फीलिंग थी. ऐसे पहाड़ चढ़ने के बाद ऐसे लग रहा था कि चलो अपन ने पास कर लिया, वी हैव डन एवरीथिंग. सो
Yes, that is true. And like when like I have seen pictures of you in a stethoscope as a child, and like now that you're actually living the dream, like it must have been a wonderful journey. And the
it
best
has
part
been.
is that most of the journey and like most of the moments are there up on your channel. And how
Yeah.
do you feel having like a memory roll which is
Yeah.
public?
Um, it's something which many people use as a guide. Ki what should they do, should they not do when they are studying. So I'm really happy ki with my documentation of my journey, I'm able to provide value simultaneously. तो काफी अच्छा लगता है. And also मैं खुद के videos तो ऐसे ज्यादा देखता नहीं because I personally don't consume that much YouTube. I create more than I consume. So, but whenever I do, just say I need some B-roll footages in my current videos, I download my own videos, and sometimes going through them makes me feel ki I can relive this day anytime I want. So I think people who are this is sort of like an online journal only, much more elaborate.
Okay, so now that you have an online journal and you have documented every aspect of your MBBS life, including exam, which like most of the MBBS students are most skeptical about documenting, and like so like I just want to ask you, like, does it put on any extra pressure or performance pressure while like recording or studying? Ki maybe if I don't perform, like what will people think? Like if I get bad marks, like what implications will it have on the people I'm inspiring? Or it's not like that, I'm just documenting my
It's
journey.
really not like that. Whenever I give an exam, I don't think about the result at all. Matlab, unless and until I've seen the last paper, I don't think about the result. The only thing that I'm thinking before the exam is how do I prepare for this? How do I be more efficient? How do I get all the questions right? That's the only thoughts going through my head. So when I'm documenting this, I don't even bother ki I'm going to pass or not, or what's going to be the result or whatever, because somehow I know that it's very difficult to fail. It's very difficult to top and it's very difficult to fail. So somehow I know that failing is not something which I'll be doing. I would definitely be passing. So that just takes off the pressure, and not thinking about the result but rather thinking about the exam is the mindset which I follow. So as such, no pressure. I just do it because I really love to document my journey, and I've been doing it since so many years.
So, like, it is obviously so much fun to watch your study vlogs and exam preparation vlogs, and especially students and juniors like me, like, go into micro details and seeing what books you are using, like, how are you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
annotating, how are you actually writing the answers down, and like
Hmm.
practicing things. So, like, have you like made a system on how you approach a certain subject, how you approach a certain chapter, or how
Hmm.
you approach a certain topic?
Right. So with respect to subject, I used to do this in first year ki without just preheating the oven. Just go and read the book. एकदम कड़ी book होती है, harsh language होती है. Read it and understand as much as you can. Make notes and you're done. So, but now what I do, what I did in final year especially is before I even opened any book, before I bought a few books, I first completed the videos. So from any subscription platform, you might have Marrow Prep Ladder, Dance Bhatia, kuch bhi ho, or YouTube, just watch the videos explaining the topics. That is going to decrease your understanding time by quite a lot. Books में काफी complicated होता है, but same thing, if a human is explaining to you, it's a different level of retention. I could tell you all about how the pituitary gland functions and what are different microadenomas present, and you can read it in a book, but जो मैं बताऊंगा तुम्हें ज़्यादा याद रहेगा because it has a human element to it. I will tell you some things which I faced. So I watch videos, then I read books, and I would say that videos complete karna is very very easy. Books read karna is the difficult part, and I would say I spend like 60-70% of the time reading book and rest watching the videos. After the videos are done, the notes are also done with respect to the videos. So whatever points I find in the book, I just write them down into the notes, so that just makes one complete set of notes. And with that, I think you could consider a subject to be completed.
Like, that was like the most precise and perfect answer that anyone could give. And like, your experience gives insights to a lot of people. So the next question that I have for you is, what is something that you've doubled down on, and what is something that you've completely cut off from your life recently and that has benefited you?
So double down, I would say I plan a lot more. So initially my plans were not so elaborate, but what my current planning system is I plan ahead in advance so that I don't have to face difficulties in the future. So I plan in a lot of detail. It might even take me like sometimes 1 or 2 days to get the plan right. But once it's done, I just stick to that plan. पहले ऐसा होता था, प्लान बन जाता था, बट मैं उससे स्टिक नहीं रह पाता था बिकॉज इट वॉज अनरियलिस्टिक. सो टू मेकिंग अ रियलिस्टिक प्लान इज टू काइंड ऑफ एक्सेप्टिंग योर लिमिटेशंस. सो यू नो कि तुम्हारी लिमिटेशंस क्या क्या है, एंड इफ यू प्लान अकॉर्डिंगली your plan will work. So that is something which I have definitely taken into account. And what I've cut down is I've stopped taking life so seriously. Like इनिशियली ऐसा होता था कि अरे इतने मार्क्स नहीं आएंगे तो क्या होगा, इतने परसेंट नहीं आएंगे तो क्या होगा. Life is like not that, it's really not a big deal, you know. There are so many big days in your life. If agar academics chhod bhi do to there are a lot of big days in your life. The day you probably are going to get married, the day you're probably going to have kids in the future, the day you first did something courageous, all of these are very big days. So if you take life a little less seriously, मतलब उतना भी seriously, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि तुम कुछ भी करने लग जाओ फिर योलो पूरा, but a little bit toned down agar kar do, you'll enjoy so many things. You won't chase that perfection happy ending everywhere. You'll be like, I'm very happy with what I have, and you'll be very very grateful. So I think that has been the two things in life in general, I would say.
Yes. So, for anyone who is looking to plan seriously and who's looking to stick to their plan and make realistic plans, can you like give a rough idea and like elaborate or give a framework on that?
Sure. So, first of all, you should, I think, focus on what you want. You should, like PSM में हम पढ़ते हैं ना, a goal should be, objective should be SMART. So it's like measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound, something like that. Specific, measurable, achievable, time bound, realistic. So that is how you should define your objective. Let's say that my plan is to complete surgery. in the next 1 month. Okay, very realistic example. तुमको ये करना पड़ेगा future में. You know that there are like 90 videos of surgery and you've got 30 days. So 30 days के हिसाब से specific तुम्हारा हो जाएगा कि I have to complete at least 5 videos a day मिनिमम. तो 5 videos के हिसाब से इन 20 days रफली 1-2 दिन छुट्टी मार के आई विल बी एबल टू कंप्लीट द वीडियोस, राइट. नेक्स्ट इज अचीवेबल कि यू नो कि तुम्हारा अगर 5 videos देखने का लिमिट है, ओनली एंड ओनली देन यू सेट दैट लिमिट टू योर सेल्फ. इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट तो 3 videos करो, 2 करो. सिमिलरली यू गो अराउंड एंड जस्ट एनालाइज व्हाट यू एग्जैक्टली वांट एंड देन जस्ट ले डाउन कि ओके दिस इज द टाइम फ्रेम, 1 month इज माई टाइम फ्रेम और इसमें मुझे अचीव करना है. एंड आफ्टर यू हिट अ स्पेसिफिक माइलस्टोन यू रिवॉर्ड योरसेल्फ. क्योंकि चलो सर्जरी हो गया, वी हैव लेट्स से कंप्लीटेड यूरो सर्जरी. अब मैं जा रहा हूँ बाहर दोस्तों के साथ, मैं KFC जा रहा हूँ, मैं पार्टी कर रहा हूँ, व्हाटएवर यू वांट डू दैट. ओके, सो हैविंग अ टाइम बाउंडनेस टू एनी टास्क मेक्स इट डुएबल. इफ यू जस्ट से कि मुझे सर्जरी करना है, हाँ कभी भी करो, तुम नवंबर में करो या फरवरी में करो, इट डजंट मैटर, राइट. तो टाइम बाउंड एक रहना चाहिए, कंसिस्टेंटली यू जस्ट डू इट एंड देयर इज रियली नॉट मच टू अचीविंग व्हाटएवर यू सेट योर माइंड टू. आ, वो नाइकी का लोग है ना, जस्ट डू इट, बस वही होता है, जस्ट डू इट, कर लो, क्या है.
So like one key takeaway will be like for me and for a lot of other people is that like thinking about what you really want. Like unless and until you want that, you won't like you will eventually I really want this and you will question it. So just do it. As you
Just do
say,
it,
just do it.
just do it.
And what if someone's falling or what if someone has already made a plan and they are falling a little behind on their plan? So how can they, you
So
know,
just take a, your if you don't have a plan which has a buffer capacity, right? So just break the plan for 2 days. Would 2 days में तुम्हारे backlogs complete करो and restart since from the point you left off. It happens quite a lot. I was studying medicine. I wanted to complete hematology. I don't think hematology. I think it was endocrinology in one day. I got bored after watching like 12 lectures. I was like, "Kab mere se nahi hoga," and still like hypothyroidism, calcium metabolism was left, vitamin D was left. So I gave up that day because I knew that if I continued to go on, I would not remember it. So next day se himat chalu karna. So what should I do? So I'm stuck. So after himat was done, I was like, okay, कल शाम में अपन break लेके बाकी का calcium homeostasis complete कर लेंगे. सो
yes.
दिस इज द वे यू अप्रोच इट कि डोंट गिव अप. तुमको थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट निकाल के कहीं से तो भी उसको एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा.
Yes, yes. Makes
ये
sense.
मेरे साथ भी बहुत बार होता है, ऐसे प्लान्स बनते हैं बट इफ यू डोंट हैव दैट बफर कैपेसिटी तो मुश्किल होता है फिर स्टिक करना.
Yes. And like being who you are like at this stage and even going through your MBBS journey and sticking to your plan requires a lot of more saying no than saying yes. Do you
ट्रू.
agree with this and like how do you deal with this?
नॉट आई मीन नो तो बोलना पड़ता है कई जगह पे. ओके, बट आई फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स से दैट माय फ्रेंड्स आर इनवाइटिंग मी टू अ मूवी. I probably will never ever say no to that because it's a thing which
Okay.
will make me happy and okay 3 घंटे अगर मैं नहीं भी पढ़ा तो I know कि it's gonna be okay, कभी तो भी पढ़ लेंगे. But it's something if that is going to drain me mentally, emotionally, physically, so I will avoid that. So it's all about the factors which are aggravating you versus some which are relieving you. HOPI, aggravating and relieving factors,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
ये तुम्हें खुद से जज करना है कि जैसे some people go to the gym, okay, and they feel really relieved after it. So that time investment of 1 hour is actually a blessing for them. But if you go to some place which you don't like and that drains your time, so it's not worth it. So yes or no, just say it on your own personal aggravating relieving factors.
Okay, so this is great. So we have seen Anuj Pachhel transform from a very nerdy, studious kid to going for Paris solo trips
Yeah, yeah,
to going to Goa and doing a lot of fun stuff in between. So
yeah.
how did you find the balance or how can someone find balance? And this is into consideration that like in according to your videos, I saw you having mental breakdowns.
Yeah, right. Let me just address to you the traveling wala part. So after NEET, I started traveling with my parents because वही होता है हर बार. So we went to, I think, Shimla, Manali, and all of those places. In first year, we had a trip, batch trip, the Pulse, जो होता है. So we went to the northern part of India, and second year से lockdown लग गया. So ever since lockdown was like, I was like, I don't get to travel at all. So from थर्ड ईयर itself I started traveling थोड़ा 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 आसपास की जगहों पे. And then in final year it was like it was my dream, okay, कि I want to go to Paris because it's something which I've been wanting since I was a child. Because मेरे पास वो रूम में आईफिल टावर का भी किचन था, जो मिलता है अपने बर्डी में. मतलब बर्डी इज अ प्लेस दैट यू शॉप इन नागपुर. So I had that in my room since I was a kid. I was in school, so that was my ultimate end goal. Ki I want to go to Paris. That's what I want to do. So I planned in advance only कि I want to go, and according to that, बहुत सारा मेहनत करके पैसा वैसा जमा किया, and finally गया. So उसके लिए काफ़ी प्रिपरेशन करने लगी because I was going to miss out on 10-15 days of postings and studies and YouTube videos. So I had to film in advance. I had to, go and take the permission कि I am going to be out of station for this much. So I did all of that and finally went. The nerdy part of me, I think, ever since I, did started YouTube, the nerdy part gradually decreased a lot because my exposure to the outer world was increased by 100 folds, 1,000 folds. Because in real life you talk to less people. Online you can talk to essentially unlimited amount of people. So after lockdown, I think that I matured quite a lot because I was exposed to so many different people over the internet, some good, some bad, both of them shaping me in their own way. And after that I realized that studies is not everything. Life भी बहुत important चीज है. And ever since that my mentality towards studies has been like, do it, enjoy it, don't complain about it, and enjoy your life as well. Don't give up on that. हंसते हंसते करो, हो जाएगा सब. ये है यार
Yes,
मेरा टेक अवे इसके लिए.
yes. And now that you are a doctor, what kind of a doctor that you see yourself becoming, like down
To
the
be
line?
honest, I look at myself. Currently, I don't have a branch in mind. Okay, to start with,
ENT?
ENT is one thing which I'm very strongly considering, right? But it's still not fixed. I really love medicine as well. So, but the thing is, medicine requires such a huge time investment. You need to do a medicine, then you need to do the DM, and then that's just 5 years. Bonds वगैरह मिला दोगे, so that's another separate thing in
Yes,
itself. I'm
yes,
currently 23. By the time MBBS खत्म होता है, I'll be 24. So 24 plus 5, that is 29. 29 में जाके कहीं अपन settle हो गए. But the thing is, after you are done with your DM and everything, you are practically established. मतलब you don't have anything else to study, right? And it's very rewarding in the later half of your life. So let's say even if you work till 29, you can easily get jobs which are very high paying. You can start your own hospital, and you can treat patients in a much more efficient way because you are a specialist in that field. So it's definitely rewarding in the second half. But jo initial tum 5, 6, 7 years, it will be the struggle. That is the biggest issue. So ENT I'm considering because I really love surgery, right? I feel like I'll be the person who has skills to make art. Okay, so I consider surgery to be a form of art itself because it's sort of an art.
yes.
So I feel
Yeah.
like I would be better fit as a surgeon. But then again, like, hey यार अभी बहुत सारे factors है. So medicine या ENT is going to be probably ये दोनों में से कोई एक होएगा.
Okay, okay. So
It
this
might
is
change after internship. When we get internship में we get the real life experience of their lives, right? So it might change after internship, but so far
okay.
ऐसा ही है.
So now in your videos and about what you are saying is a lot about ROI, like return on
Hmm.
investment on the time, energy, effort. Seeing your
Mm-hmm.
friends get good jobs, good degrees,
Right.
high paying
Right.
jobs, they'll be married, they'll have their own
Mm-hmm.
house, and seeing
Yeah.
all of that and still going through the same journey and
Hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
so like will you like to elaborate and what are your views on this and like
Yeah, so I feel pretty strongly about the return on investment part. Okay, I feel like you can. see, with respect to doctors can earn a lot of money in the future, and I think that is one of the biggest metrics anybody takes into consideration when they are choosing a branch. That's the
Yeah.
reason radio diagnosis is at number one, dermat is at number two, because it has got so much income down the line in crores basically every year. So it's a very good thing to be a doctor, which helps people, but as well as it earns a good job. But I feel like after one point, money will stop mattering in your life. After a particular amount per day, per week, per month, it won't have that much effect. So that amount is different for everybody. Okay, let's hypothetically say it is 100 rupees for me. Okay,
Yeah.
100 rupees per day. It is for me, hypothetically saying that I am very happy if I get 100 rupees per day. For somebody else, it could be 500. Somebody could be 1,000. So you have to set key. Okay, according to me, to get 1,000 rupees per day, I would have to do this, and
Hmm.
just by doing minimum this much, I'll be able to earn 1,000 rupees. So yeah, it depends on person to person. If you're a person with high ambition, you have to do whatever, highest degree you want, whatever the best you can get. But if you're somebody who is very satisfied, who wants to live a normal life and be happy with, then there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. So take whichever is the path you like, which aligns with your own 100 rupees wala quota.
Okay, so like this basically tells us about the law of diminishing returns. The
Mm-hmm.
more effort, like I have learned this from your videos itself,
Mm-hmm.
the more effort you put in, the less returns you're gonna get. And it's the same with money. The more money you earn, like the less perks there are gonna be. There is a
Exactly.
baseline,
Exactly.
like beyond that, like it won't matter.
Exactly.
But
It
who
really
are
won't.
people, like unless you have that kind of money, you can't comment on it. Like
Right. Right.
so, like this is one aspect of it, but for the people who are watching and who are becoming doctors solely for the sake of making a lot of money, and the conception that they have in their mind that they will, especially 11th and 12th standard students and NEET aspirants, that only दो साल का struggle है फिर, like they only see the bright side of things. Are there
Yeah.
any warnings that you want to give them, or is there a better field if they are only thinking about the money perspective? Like, what is your take on this?
Yeah. So there are definitely better fields out there if you are only thinking about the money part. But money part ke alawa, if you really want to be a doctor, then there is no replacement for it. Like since my childhood, I have only dreamed of one thing, that I wanted to be a doctor. Childhood bole to मैं 9th 10th की बात कर रहा हूँ. That is considered as childhood itself. And I have always wanted to be a doctor. So no matter what you told me, okay, I would have probably still taken MBBS because I wanted to be that. So the thing is, like, the struggle actually starts after you have completed your MD. It starts after that. Before that, though, life is kind of on autopilot. You know where you are going. You know कि third year के बाद fourth year में क्या पढ़ना है, internship है, NEET PG है, MD first second third year है. After MD or after your super specialty, that's when the real struggle starts, when you are out in the open world taking independent decisions. And you don't know which way your life, should you join a corporate job, should you take your own hospital, should you join in a private hospital, or do what, or should you take a government नौकरी.
Yeah.
तो वो जो डिसीजंस वाला इशू होता है, सो दैट इज रियली डिफिकल्ट. एंड उसके बाद से आफ्टर यू हैव डन योर एमडीएमएस, आई थिंक यू स्ट्रगल फॉर एटलीस्ट 6 to 7 years to be properly established in the market, कि this is the proper doctor I know that people trust and they recurringly come to you. So it definitely takes a lot of time. And as far as money is concerned, doctors, I think, earn more in the second half of their lives than they will ever earn in the first half. So in the first half, तुम 30-35 तक तो settle ही हो रहे हो. So by the time you're 35, you're probably thinking about buying your own house, buying your own cars and all of that. You're going to be taking loans, and slowly and slowly by the age of 40, your earning starts to increase by many folds. ठीक है, जैसे तुम अभी अभी एक्सपीरियंस सर्जन बन
Compound.
गए, people are going to call you more, your opinion is going to charge more because you have that much experience. You're not charging for that 15 minutes of opinion, you're charging for the last 40 years of your life जिसमें तुमने पढ़ाई की है, right? So
Yes.
you are definitely, your value increases by the time you're 50. it has increased by even more than that. People are waiting for you because you are that well established in the market. So it's like, the more you are in this profession, the longer, the more famous you get. That's why whenever you imagine a good doctor, ऐसे बूढ़े डॉक्टर ध्यान में आते हैं जिनको पूरी वाइट दाढ़ी है और अच्छा वो लोग उसको एक एक झटके में बता देते हैं कि क्या हुआ है पेशेंट को, बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एक्सपीरियंस. So in the
Yes.
second half of your life, after 45, I would say 45 के बाद, your earning increases by quite a lot. Your struggle decreases, but by that time you have lost the good years of your life where you can do almost anything. It's not the case with something like business or starting things other than medicine, right? Let's say you are starting like a social media marketing agency. Within 2 years, you can be earning in crores. So you don't have to
Yeah.
wait for 45 to be earning that much.
Yeah.
So that is the deal. But in the end, if you don't like social media marketing, you won't be
Yeah.
continue to doing it, right? If you love to be
Yeah.
a doctor, you will continue to do that. So that's kind of a very overcomplicated take on that from my side.
This is very accurate, and I feel somewhere or the other, whoever is like trying to get into this field and like should have a warning, and like they should consider this before they join this field, and like consider various other factors too at this point of time. And
Definitely.
speaking of this journey, you have completed 4.5 years of your MBBS. So I want to ask you about two experiences. One that you would relive at the cost of anything, and one experience that, like, ye experience ke liye I would trade not having like going to this college or whatever. Like one experience that you would not like to live from your
Acha.
MBBS life, and like one
So
experience.
one good one, one bad one, sort of.
Yes.
This is as far as good ones is considered. Um, yeah,
Something
I
that
don't
you would relive from your journey.
that I wish to relive from my journey. I would say the mm, entirety of first year MBBS. It is so beautiful. You have no pressure for PG. You are the famous kid in your town because you have just cracked NEET, right? And you are very popular among aunties who just call you doctor. Okay. Most of all, it's like it's everybody has no preformed opinions about you. Nobody knows you. You're just another person in their class. Classes भी seriously होती है first year में. So that is another thing. I would definitely love to live first year once again. I met all my first years. I met all my friends in first year itself. So it was a very special moment in my life, and it was really beautiful. So first year MBBS, so definitely anytime I can go back, and I really want to do that
But
if possible.
yes, okay.
And the one which you said ki worst experience, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I mean, from when you get a bad experience, right? You review it, you learn from it, you grow from it. So I don't think that any bad experiences like I would like to trade. Like I I I I'm thankful for all the bad experience I have had in my life. They have shaped me to be the kind of person or to not be that kind of person.
Yeah.
So जैसे कुछ सीनियर्स के साथ पंगे हो जाते हैं. So that told me not to be this kind of a senior. Don't do this to your
Yes.
junior. So they have definitely shaped me quite a lot. So I don't think I would be ever saying no to having a bad experience. It's a growing point in your life where your character gets one level up. 34 से 35 XP हो जाता है तुम्हारा. So and you unlock a skill point, then you can use that skill point to do
So
something else.
yes. Okay. So skill point, and like this is about gaming. And in
Yeah.
the recent series that you made in your second channel was like daily vlogging, and we saw
Hmm.
Anuj Pachhel do a lot of gaming, which is
Yeah.
completely opposite from dopamine detox.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
no.
like from the audience perspective, we would love to see more raw vlogs and
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
things that you just like talk about from your experiences because
Yeah.
they are valuable. So
Yeah.
now I will talk about
gaming
your
is
journey.
gaming is something which anybody and everybody should be doing. Studies have shown that just playing video games increases your problem solving ability. It increases your reflex time, the time you take to hit a button after something is shown in the thing. So it is really beneficial for you. And when you see life as a video game, okay, if I go to the gym one for let's say 6 months, I will have upgraded to strength level 5 and power level 4. So if you imagine it that way, your character is getting an upgrade, and that's going to make you stronger in game. So I think gaming तो बहुत real life को भी apply होता है. I'm a huge fan of gaming. I've been doing it since 7th standard, I would say.
Okay. So now that you spoke about gym and being a gym rat, gym freak, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to call,
Mm-hmm.
so like, what is your take on the gym
Yeah, so it's really positive. I've
and
actually
physical
joined.
fitness
Yeah.
and its impact on academics and your life in general?
Right, right. So I'll be totally honest with you. I joined the gym, I think, 3 times in the past year. Each time I did not complete more than 3 or 4 weeks. There was a reason for it because it's final year. It, तुम्हें कुछ ना कुछ give up करना पड़ता है. At one point, I was trying to juggle between Axon and YouTube and gym and final year की studies and postings and Maro videos. It was a lot to do in a single day.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a lot. So I had to give up on the things which were not essential. So definitely in final year it was difficult, but like after final year has ended, like almost it's been around 1 month or more I've been going to the gym. So definitely strength has increased. I can noticeably feel that because जैसे I'll give you an example. Lat pull down जो मैं first दिन किया था, I don't मैं remember भी नहीं कि कितने था, but I have reached halfway in the machine, so that makes me subconsciously feel कि
Ooh.
it is I think it's like 54 kgs or something that pull down, so that in 1 month itself. So I feel very happy कि I am seeing the progress. And it whenever you are going to the gym and working on your body, it's going to stimulate all your tendons and muscles and all of that, so they are going to get what they actually deserve. जस्ट लाइक व्हेन यू डू, जब पढ़ते हो तो ब्रेन को खुराक मिलती है, वैसे अपने बॉडी को खुराक मिलती है व्हेनेवर यू गो टू द जिम. इट्स रियली पॉजिटिव एक्सपीरियंस. आफ्टर द जिम यू फील रिफ्रेश्ड. ऐसा लगता है कि वापस से तुम्हारा दिन शुरू हो गया है. उतनी
Hmm.
एनर्जी आ जाती है तुमको आफ्टर यू कम बैक आफ्टर अ गुड स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग वाला सेशन. एंड
Hmm.
समटाइम्स योर मसल्स एक, बट it just feels good कि you are growing stronger every day. So I personally love the fact. I think that you should strive for fitness. Many people in our batch are gym freaks. And I could not be that because of reasons, obviously. But I'll try to be more active in fitness this year.
Yes. So this is a wonderful perspective on gym and health and fitness and whoever is getting into it. And like one thing I have noticed with you is like you are not trying to be hard on yourself. You're not trying to say ki I'm gonna do this, I will try to I will
Yeah.
just becoming 1% better every single day, like as like a lot of people say. So, like someone who is at a really low point in their life about academics, about anything, like how can they go about it and how can they overcome dark times? How can they get back their life together, get their life on track, and how can they be resilient in life
Mhm.
basically?
Whenever we face bad times, right? So our natural response is to go in denial. Like there are 5 stages of that, right? So we go to denial and we try to just run away from it as far as possible. Let's say तुम्हारा एक अच्छा relationship था and you have a breakup because of some unfortunate thing. So that's a very bad thing. So you can't run away from that sort of a pain. Okay. So you have to accept it. You have to be in pain for a few days. Only after that you will be recovering. But if you just run away from it immediately, then that pain will be like a chronic non-healing ulcer type of thing, which will be very bad for you. So slowly and slowly accepting whatever the thing is that caused you the pain in the first place, and then trying a way to find trying to overcome that by putting that much energy into something else, is a very good way to go about it. I think that's why I see that after breakups and all of that, people start studying so much they top NEET PG, and or they go to the gym and they become completely jacked in 6 months. So that happens quite frequently because if you put that much time and effort and dedication into something else, you will get the results. As far as bad times are considered, I have had a fair share of bad times and mental breakdowns, since it's really not that all that easy being putting yourself online, especially at this day and age. So I've had some times which were difficult, but I honestly knew that I'll be overcoming this, and I focused on the things which I'm good at, and instead of focusing on people's and their opinions and whatever. So work on yourself, build yourself up. People are temporary. You have to live with your own self. So वही मैं बोलूँगा यार इस पे तो.
Okay, so focus on the good, and the good gets better.
Yes, 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 definitely. Find a
And give
hobby.
yourself time to heal.
Time to heal दो यार. एकदम से तुम भागोगे तो नहीं होगा. You have
Yes,
to go through the pain. There is no cheat code.
yes. This is very right. And one thing that we have seen bloom across like the years that you have put in on YouTube is the personality shift that you have had, and we have seen it with our eyes, and the kind of confidence for any shy kid, for any person who's not confident, and sorry, who's not confident, and someone who's trying to become more confident. We've seen you give public interviews, we've seen you mentor a lot of NEET aspirants, we've just seen you doing a lot of great and epic stuff. So how to be confident?
I personally, the thing is like, I personally never ever struggled that much with confidence, because I was very active in my school times. I used to be the anchor of the, what do we say, क्या कहते हैं उसको, assembly
Debate.
नहीं, नहीं रे, वो एंड पे होता था ना ईयर के एनुअल फंक्शन राइट.
हाँ.
So I used to be the anchor of the annual function, and so I basically had no sort of fear speaking to the public since the start. My mom is like a national level debater. So पापा को होती है दिक्कत उसके कारण कभी कभी, but I think it's kind of genetic. So she has won so many awards, like पूरी कमरे में trophies है पूरी. So sort of that kind of made me bold in the first place itself. And what I would say, to become confidence is just know your shit. If you
Hmm.
catchy, sorry, if you know your shit, then you will be confident. If let's say somebody asks me ki, okay, you need to give a lecture about breast cancer to so many different people, I'm like, okay, I'm very confident, I know this topic thoroughly. Whatever you ask me, I'm going to tell you. So if you know your shit well, you
Hmm.
will be confident by default, because you know
Yeah.
that you have done your research, you have done your studies and all of that. So I would say, like, whenever you are making a YouTube video, for example, if you think you're shy, just read up on the topic which you're presenting, actually understand what you're saying. And once that happens, you will see that whenever you're presenting yourself, you will actually say it in a way that you mean it. ऐसे नहीं कि तुम स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ के बोल रहे हो.
Yeah.
So before going on to any function, any stage or anything, just understand what your duty is, and whatever resources you have been provided, just go through them. So that way you will be definitely more confident in life. And always remember that लोगों की memory 5 seconds होती है. That is something which I figured out the hard way. कि what were you wearing on that particular day in annual function? तुम्हारे वो left shoe में उतना सा spot polish नहीं था. Nobody's gonna care. Even if they look at it, they're going to forget it. So what matters more is what you say and how that changes their perspective of that evening or that particular after that YouTube video. So focus more on the big things rather than the small things. And even if you mess up, sometimes it's going to be okay. सब लोग ने गलती की है. We are all humans.
Yes, we are all humans. Now we. One second. So, sir, a lot of NEET aspirants have watched you and are following your journey. So, from
Hmm.
your journey and your experience, NEET examination is a little different from MBBS examinations, but there is some areas where these two intersect. And since you have given NEET and you have completed your MBBS successfully, what is something that you have learned from him? What are some lessons that you have learned from your MBBS times that you would apply in your
To the
NEET
NEET exam.
preparation? And
Right.
what are the lessons that you learned from your NEET that you would
Yeah.
apply to your MBBS?
Right. So first of all, lessons which I learned in NEET that I would like to apply in MBBS is frequent testing. So in NEET, whatever tuition class you join, make sure that they have the weekly test, the fortnightly test, and monthly test in place, because that is very essential for you to constantly check what is your progress in that topic. Constantly check how good are you at it. So I would say that in MBBS, whatever subject you are trying to do, make sure you solve the question bank in between to make it like a test. And if not the question bank, at least make a custom module of that particular topic and solve that, so that it would be, you know exactly कि तुमने जो पढ़ा है वो तुम्हें याद तो रह रहा है कि नहीं, and study for that particular test in MBBS as well. Repeated testing is very very important. The next thing is from MBBS exams which I learn is that we have got infinite syllabus, right, which I can apply to the NEET exam. So in MBBS जब तुम medicine और surgery और obs gynae और pediatrics और orthopedics इतना पढ़ रहे हो and वो तुमको याद रह रहा है, so definitely you can study that small सा syllabus of NEET UG, right? So I always tell NEET aspirants कि तुम NEET से मत डरो, आगे तो तुमको मेडिसिन और सर्जरी पढ़ना है यार. हैरिसन की बुक अगर तुम पढ़ोगे तो that is more bigger than your physics chemistry bio combined of 11th and 12th. So that is that difficult to understand, to read. So don't be afraid. I would say MBBS exams are so hard than NEET. नीट में बस एक एडिशनल फैक्टर होता है, इट्स डू और डाई, यू इधर गोइंग टू बी अ डॉक्टर और नॉट. बस एक वो फैक्टर अगर तुम छोड़ दो, सो एसेंशियल एमबीबीएस एग्जाम्स आर डिफिकल्ट इन ऑल अदर एस्पेक्ट, द सिलेबस, द वॉल्यूम, द टाइम गिवन. Nobody teaches you anything. Most of the peripheral colleges in India don't even have lectures or postings, so you are self taught, and then you go ahead and give the exams, and in the exams it's very difficult to score marks. So I would say that don't be afraid is the thing you should apply to your NEET, which I learned from MBBS.
Okay, so now we know about your NEET schedule, we know about your NEET preparation, we know the stories from your NEET days. Now we have also seen your NEET exam day short, but we want to know
Yeah.
what happened on your NEET exam day realistically and a long
Hmm.
answer.
So realistically, I was not over enthusiastic. I was not, anxiety ऐसी कुछ नहीं थी. So I was in a very neutral state, and the most important reason was that because I had solved so many previous year question papers before that, it just put me in a very good spot. कि, okay, I'm just going to solve another previous year paper when I'm going to go and give NEET. So that just took my anxiety completely off, and I knew I had prepared very well. Then I think woke up at, I don't remember exactly, but it might have been 4 or something like that, because during my NEET days I used to wake up at 4 only. So at 4 a.m. I woke up, I studied my mistake book, my chemistry, physics flowcharts, and some of the important lines from NCRT which I had written down with no anxiety. I repeated the mistake book and formulas once again, I would say. I had no anxiety. I had been to the center once before, so I knew कि मुझे exactly कहाँ पे बैठना है. मेरे पास उसकी फोटो थी सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट की. सो ऐसा नहीं कि वहाँ पे जाके कौन सा सीटिंग है वो भी ढूंढना है. सो एवरीथिंग वाज काइंड ऑफ लेड आउट परफेक्टली. I went to the center exam hall and I just made sure कि I should have the smoothest experience. So एकदम मैंने ड्रेस भी इतना सिंपली किया था कि ऐसे मुझे एकदम से उन्होंने पास कर दिया. आई वेंट टू द एग्जाम सेंटर एंड वहाँ पे एक इकलौता बेंच था विच वाज कवर्ड विथ माइका. बाकी सारे benches did not have mica, and they could have easily pierced your OMR sheet if you marked incorrectly. And if that happens, game over. Okay? So that mica wala bench was my roll number. So I was so happy seeing that ki, wow, this is the only bench and I'm going to get that. Got the paper, and I think तभी 10 से 1 होती थी NEET. So at we were given OMR sheet 15 minutes early because fill up करना होता है, साइन करनी होती है. नीट का पेपर शुरू हुआ and finished the bio in roughly 30 minutes, I would say, because that's the time I used to take. गड़बड़ी नहीं करनी थी, जल्दबाजी नहीं करनी थी, but I had to be fast, not हड़बड़ाना नहीं था. So did that part, and then I started with chemistry. I think chemistry took roughly 40 minutes or maybe like 30 minutes itself, because only physical chemistry we had to put our brains in. Organic was pretty easy. Then physics came, and I did physics in almost 1 hour 10 minutes. So essentially my paper was over in max to max 2 hours 20 minutes, 2 hours 10 minutes में everything was done. OMR sheet भी mark हो चुकी थी. So I had so much time left to just sit there and just look at कि okay चलो finally हो गया, इतना preparation अपन ने इस exam के लिए किया था. it's finally over. So that was my overall experience. I did not panic anywhere, even though there were questions which I could not solve. मुझे 613 ही आए थे, so उस समय के हिसाब से वो बहुत हुआ करते थे.
बहुत होता था
So
सर.
so मतलब ऐसा था कि there were definitely questions I did incorrect as well, but I did not panic just because. So keeping your mind calm is very important in NEET UG and NEET PG both. So ये एक चीज है जो सारे नीट एस्पिरेंट्स ने करनी चाहिए. आफ्टर दैट आई केम होम एंड मतलब बिफोर कमिंग होम आई टोल्ड माय पापा कि चलो हो गया अभी, अपन जीएम से नागपुर ले लेंगे, इजीली मिल जाएगा मुझे, क्योंकि आई वाज कॉन्फिडेंट, नॉट ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट, आई वाज जस्ट कॉन्फिडेंट इनफ. शाम में इन माय होम देयर वर रिलेटिव्स स्टेइंग बिकॉज मेरे दादाजी की डेथ हुई थी वेरी रिसेंटली, लाइक विद इन 15 days बिफोर माय एग्जाम. So my Nana ji, actually not Dadaji, he passed away at the age of I think 86. So घर पे तो सब लोग होते ही ऐसा कुछ इंसिडेंट्स होता है, so relatives भी थे. So थोड़ा सा माहौल उतना सही नहीं था because of the death, but since it was an old age death, we were not really that worried, क्योंकि he went on lived a good life and then passed away. So we kind of did a little bit of celebration, मतलब कि फाइनली हो गया. एंड देन वी ऑल वेंट टू सी अवेंजर्स इन्फिनिटी वॉर. सो उसी दिन रिलीज हुई थी वो. सो वी वेंट इन द इवनिंग 6th of May 2019. सो या दैट वाज द प्रीटी मच एग्जाम डे समराइज्ड. शाम में
Yes.
एलन के आंसर की रिलीज हुई थी. मुझे एलन के आंसर की हिसाब से आई थिंक 640 आ रहे थे. फिर आंसर कीज में करेक्शंस होते हैं, क्वेश्चंस के पैरामीटर्स चेंज होते हैं, तो ऐसे कर करके आई थिंक लास्ट में 620 आ रहे थे. कुछ मिसकैलकुलेशंस थे, 613 आया. आई वाज वेरी हैप्पी.
Yes. So one thing that like अभी I realize is that आपके घर पे इतने गेस्ट थे, इतना ट्रेजिक हुआ था, you were going through it.
Yeah.
Someone who was weak-hearted and who didn't believe in his preparation could have easily given the excuse, but
Yeah.
the fact that in spite of so much going on, in spite of suffering from such a huge loss, you
It
gave
was
it
a
with
pretty
such a
huge
calm.
loss.
Yes, you kept such a calm mind and you did what was necessary and you like made it come true is like a big inspiration for me and for
Thank you,
a
yaar.
lot of us, and like we are genuinely so inspired by you.
Thank
So,
you.
and since a lot of other students are inspired by you and your study tips have motivated literally millions of students, and there are a millions like millions of views on your study videos and study tips. So what are the three things that someone can do instantly to be better at studies at or like whatever they are
Yeah.
studying, or instant hacks that or whatever
Yeah.
you would call?
Instantly, first of all, keep your phone in a separate room. Take your phone and just put it in a separate room. Okay? So that would just decrease your क्या बोलते हैं, Instagram and your YouTube shorts and whatever. That would just be very productive for you. Secondly, set a timer. I always do this whenever I study. I set a timer because I know मैं brain को बोलता हूँ बस 60 minutes पढ़ ले, फिर टाइम पास करते हैं अपन मिलके. So that is a psychological way of telling कि just थोड़ा सा ही करना है. But if you like think कि 5 hours I have to study, that is not going to happen, without inertia. So definitely set a 60-minute timer or 30-minute timer. Sit down and do it. And lastly, like if you are really finding it difficult to stay motivated, try changing your place. So if you're studying in your room, maybe go to the different room or maybe go to your friend's house, but वहाँ पे जाके time pass, या तो go to a library or something else. That would just immediately help you sit down right now.
Okay. So this is wonderful, like, and a very nice experience. Keep your phone in another room, and I
Yeah,
would like to add on to it is that give your phone to your parents.
yeah,
अदर
true.
रूम में से भी तुम लेके आ जाओगे, बिकॉज दिस काइंड ऑफ सोशल मीडिया इज सो एडिक्टिव, लाइक
Mm-hmm.
तुम्हारा आलस भी निकाल लेगा एंड लिटरली यू विल गो टू द नेक्स्ट रूम. एंड सो
Mm.
दिस इज माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस कि फोन
Okay.
दे दो अपने पेरेंट्स को.
Yeah.
So yes. So now one more thing, like after giving so many exams, literally, and after acing and after doing so well in exams, like how to be good at giving exams and how to have a
Mm-hmm.
temperament, especially with the experience that you've had with meditation,
Yeah.
and like how to keep your mind cool and how to keep your head in the right place and how to study for the exam and how to approach the exam.
Yeah, so this is like a kind of sort of an exam guide only if you see. The thing is, before you go to the exam, right, don't tell ki this is going to be hard. Okay, if you it will like accepting defeat beforehand itself. You might say ki okay, it will be hard, but always add to that ki it's okay, but I have given harder exams than this is not really going to bother me that much. The next thing is like keep your head calm. If you lose your shit in the moment, then whatever you've prepared is just gone. I would say always for any exam, practicing previous year question papers is going to give you an upper edge for any exam. Okay, be it NEET previous year papers of NEET are going to be very helpful for MBBS previous years for MUHS or different universities. Always buy the book and study the book thoroughly, which contains key. Okay, from this much. Chapter, these are all the questions they ask, and you will be first studying those questions and then the questions which are not important. I personally studied almost everything, but I focused much more on the things which were on the important topic PDF, as we call it. Apart from that, in exam, try to if it's a theory exam, presentation is very important, and just make sure that you draw a diagram wherever possible, because whenever you see a diagram, it just makes you like ये student बहुत impressive है, इसने diagram भी बनाया. So that is
तो
one thing
सच्ची
which
मार्क्स चाहिए इसको दे देते हैं लाइक ऐसे.
दे देते हैं, हाँ दे देते हैं. Even if your theory is थोड़ा सा गलत, but you have drawn a correct diagram, you have drawn a good flow chart, थोड़ा सा table अच्छा है, underlining है, presentation, and इस पे बहुत theory वाले exams depend करते हैं. MCQs में तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. MCQs में one thing I would say is that for physics and organic chemistry, like you can approximate everything. uh, G is 10 always, pi is always 3. So this way you can save a lot of time in calculations. So study the exam and then you start studying for the exam.
Yes. Okay, so before we wrap up, we have like an amazing exercise for you. So,
Yeah.
like, this is something that I want to know. If you had only 2 hours to study every week, how would you
Hmm.
study and how would you prioritize?
Okay. So study for which subject?
नहीं, study overall, you can only study for 2 hours. बाकी पूरा time you can't study at all.
Okay, okay. And मुझे थोड़ा perspective दो कि what am I up against? Like which year of MBBS, let's say? First year, second
Current
year, third year?
situation, you are, let's say you are giving NEET and you are an 11th
Yeah.
standard student.
Oh my God. If I only had 2 hours,
This does not consider like you can go to coaching class, you
yeah.
can do all whatever fun activity, you can watch lectures, but you cannot study. Like studying, you can only do 2 hours in the week.
मतलब you mean I can go to the coaching,
Yes,
and I can, if somebody is teaching me a topic over there, I can attend that.
yes,
But I can come back home and only I can open my book for 2 hours per week.
every week. Yes,
Okay, got it. So I think it's going to be very easy. I think most of the NEET aspirants ऐसे ही पढ़ते हैं. They go to the coaching, come back. 2 hours per week is the standard goal to meet. So I would first of all find a way around this situation. Ki I would increase the coaching time to 10 hours. I would go and ask the coaching teacher कि मेरी ऐसी specific
then
situation है
no
कि मैं
tricks, no tricks, no tricks.
okay, if no
Like,
tricks are
how
to
would
be
you
applied.
plan your studies in such a way, or how would you like use the 80-20 rule basically, and
Yeah.
how would you get things done?
Yeah, so that was something which I was thinking. So I'll be in those 2 hours. I'll be only solving previous year questions. That is the only thing I will be doing, because you are going to be studying only 2 hours. So you need to focus on the things which are most likely going to repeat. That is the previous year questions. So I would be 100% focused only on the PYQs in those 2 hours, nothing else. If that was the case, sometimes I might take notes for making formula sheets or something like that, but
Hmm.
for most of the time I would not.
Okay, so now one another, you are considered like, in my eyes, you are like the Indian version of Ali Abdal. Honestly, the kind of productivity and the kind of insights that you have on things and the kind of things that you have achieved. So you are extremely productive and you are extremely efficient with your time, and the things that you do takes a lot of planning and a lot of energy into it. But what if
Hmm.
for one day you
Yeah.
were to do the opposite of the opposite of what Anuj Patel would usually do?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like for everything that Anuj Patel says yes to, you had to say
Yeah.
no, and you would say no to, you would say yes. What would a day look like?
Uh, I would probably wake up very early, like 5, because currently I'm waking up at 8. Okay, so that is one thing.
Yeah.
Then I would start my days off with gaming. Okay, and I would just play Minecraft till till 8:30 or 9. Then I would eat like a sugary breakfast. Okay, then probably just scroll reels for the next 2 hours, I would say. I would see my textbooks and I would just, instead of opening them, I would just close them and keep it back in the almari. uh, uh, what else, I mean,
What does Anuj Patel never ever do, and what will he do?
I don't know, man. I have no idea what I don't ever do. I would probably not play the guitar at all, okay, because that is something I'm playing at least 1 hour every day because I really love it. And I would not make any sort of videos. I would just burn the scripts which are present. Just
In an
completely.
ideal world, Anuj Pachhel would not upload a video at Sunday 10, like in an
Yeah.
like unreal. That is something that I never see happening. Like कुछ भी हो जाए, अनुज पटेल सर का वीडियो तो आएगा ही 10 बजे. Like I am never ever excited like to go on YouTube and look at something as I am on a Sunday morning. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
honestly.
Right, right, right.
So like that is something that you've got people
Mm-hmm.
hooked on. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like, you know,
What?
bachpan.
Huh. Pawan? Huh.
So like बचपन में like usually like हम जब
Hmm.
छोटे थे we used to like wait for the weekend कि CID
Hmm.
आएगा और हम CID
Ah.
देखेंगे. Like that kind of an excitement I have when an Anuj Pachel video comes out.
Thanks, yaar. Thank you so much.
To sum things up, one last question that we have for you is like
Hmm.
we have seen a lot of people's take on Indian authors versus international authors
Right.
with
Right.
respect to MBBS. So
Yeah.
like what is your take on that, and how to
So,
study
yeah.
Indian authors, how to study
Hmm.
international?
Right, great. So first of all, I would just like to say that my pharmacology HOD told me this. So this is not my words. So he told me that, and he is an author of very famous international edition book. So he was the contributing editor for that. So he told me that your book should be that in which you can read, you can understand, and most importantly, when asked, you can recite. That is the ideal book you should be following. So whenever any student asks me what book should I use, I always ask him, what kind of a student are you? Do you study a lot? Do you study average, or do you study low? Because everybody has different perspective. If that student tells me, sir, मुझसे ज़्यादा पढ़ाई नहीं होती, there is no point suggesting him standard books. You will waste his time because he's already studying 2 hours a week. He can't afford to study final books, the standard books, right? But if he's a student who is very studious, and he's like, okay, I study most of the time, I have some hobbies, but most of the time I'll sacrifice everything for my studies. To that student, I will definitely stay, read standard books. So it all depends on what kind of a student you are. There are people on YouTube fighting over this, कि ये करना है, वो करना है, वो करना है. So it all depends on student, right? Who are you to judge कि तुम्हें यही कंपलसरी है, तुमने ये नहीं किया तो मैं तुमको जेल में डाल दूंगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So do whatever that fits you, and don't blindly listen to everybody. So I'll just give you an example. The standard book for medicine is Harrison. I already classified myself कि मैं हैरिसन नहीं पढ़ने वाला, मैं पागल नहीं हूँ. I am not that crazy कि I am going to read Harrison completely. I did read specific topics from it. I read all the most important, जिसको 4-5 स्टार होते हैं PDF में. I read those topics from it, but I did not read it all. Because, and there were some people in, let's say, Delhi and all, that did complete Harrison completely, because that was what they could do. I knew that I could not do that. So I focused on Bulur. I got good marks in medicine, right? So that is what I would like to say. Ki fix the book according to your own judgment. I would say the people who study a lot should go for international authors. People who study low or people who study almost medium, जिनके लिए उतनी priority नहीं है studies, go for Indian authors. They are as good as foreign authors. कुछ भी different नहीं है, because the thing is they have also read foreign authors and they have written their version of a clinical medicine book based on what they have already read. So I think that is the case, and with Marrow and everything that we've got, I don't think that there is any misinformation that they'll be giving you. So there will be discrepancies at some point, but 99.9% of the book will be agreeing with other standard books. So this is my final ultimate take, because don't follow यार blindly. मैं बोल रहा हूँ SRB पढ़ो, सर्जरी के लिए तुम्हें मणिपाल अच्छी लगती है, तुम मणिपाल पढ़ो ना. इन दी एंड अगर तुमको SRB पढ़ के कुछ याद नहीं है और तुमने मणिपाल पढ़ के सब कुछ बता दिया तो डिफरेंस हो गया ना. क्या फायदा रहा SRB पढ़ के. So ऐसा है सीन.
Yes. So, and if anyone is going for standard books, they love the subject. How are we
Yeah.
supposed to approach the standard book? How to read standard
Right.
textbook?
Standard textbooks you cannot go in without watching the videos. This is my
Okay.
personal experience. With almost all, I have read standard books for almost all the years except for final year because time crunch. So I would say before approaching the book, read, go watch the videos, and try to understand the topic. And after that, you go and do the standard books. This is the standard formula that you should apply.
Yes. So, thank you so much for this valuable insight. And it was great talking to you. And it was a wonderful experience and a dream come true for me
Arey,
to
thank you so
speak
much,
to
Tanmay.
someone, and like being inspired and being around such creative people genuinely gives me a lot of insight, and it was very beneficial for me again.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for taking time out, and the
Arey,
kind of
thank you.
plans you have, you squeezed them and you made time for me, and you gave something to the audience that they will never forget.
Thank you so much, yaar. I really
So
hope that whoever is watching this video is really benefiting from it. I've already talked about most of this on my YouTube channel, but I hope I was able to condense this over here. And Tanmay is doing a great job. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, इतना एक घंटा देखने के बाद भी, so I think you should reconsider and hit that red button, because he's
yes,
honestly working hard. And I remember going through the same stage, as because the small channel, it takes 10 times more efforts to grow, because you don't have the proper equipment, you don't have anything, so it is difficult.
yes,
So props to you for continuing to doing that, and I wish you all the
yes.
best for your career and for
Yes.
your YouTube journey and everything.
So, for the people who have made it through this far without checking their phone and just heard his unfiltered advice, because what I feel is instead of scrolling for reels for an hour, you can watch such videos which will provide you deep insights into topics that actually concern you. Instead of having, like, people just saying a sentence or two about something and then you just moving on. So, if you've made through this point, we will collectively say all the best and congratulations to Dr. Anuj Pachhel for the
Thank you.
achievement of becoming a doctor in front of our eyes and sharing his valuable journey with us, because this is priceless what you've done and what you are doing, and we will wish him all the best. So the people who are watching at this stage will say all the best, Anuj. We will also be pluripotent.
Oh wow, great, great.
Yes,
You are all pluripotent, and thank you all. It really means a lot to me.
yes. So, like,
Thank you. Yeah.
yes, okay.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.